We actually do think the dollar can continue to gain ground into year end. Um, Definitely, euro dollar, we are looking at 114 by year end, for example. So it's not going to be a big move from here, but I think the dollar will continue to basically grind higher. Um, and it's not going to be a big move because the expectation of the Fed taper and the monetary policy divergence between the Fed and the ECB is already well understood by markets. And as a result, I think it's going to be more of a gradual grind higher by the US dollar.
Okay, and so if the dollar continues to gain, do you think that that would essentially mean a weaker euro as well as a weaker pound at a time when those economies respectively are actually staging quite a decent comeback?
Yes, so I think that definitely against both the euro and sterling, the dollar will gain ground. As mentioned, we're looking for euro dollar 114 by year end or early next year. So I think the what's important here is the persistent monetary policy divergence between the U.S. And Europe on the one hand and the UK on the other. Indeed, actually, there are quite a lot of expectations being baked in of a BOE rate hike sometime next year. However, I think it's also being emphasized by the BOE that they will be going very slowly on their policy normalization. As for the ECB, I think ECB real ECB policy normalization is much more remote, really. So today's ECB meeting could be quite interesting because, as you mentioned earlier, they are looking to perhaps scale back on the PEP asset purchases because, frankly, it's running at a very high rate now, much higher than what the target is by next year. So they'll have to scale it back. But I think they'll be at pains to emphasize that the scaling back of the PEP is not really a step towards a much broader policy normalization in the euro area.